March 10th, and there's a potential for supercells and even tornadoes in southeast Minnesota and also in northern Iowa. So I'm out here. I've been watching data all day in Albert Lea, Minnesota, just waiting for things to develop. And right now I'm just testing out the live stream so I can stream if the storms get going and look interesting, which I think we will see something today. Maybe not a tornado, but there's definitely potential with that low pressure coming through the area and all of the, hi Jamie, and all the shear in the atmosphere this early spring with the system coming through. And since there has been some clearing, we're actually getting some better heating today and instability than we thought might be possible. And dew points are actually getting up pretty high as well into this area, even up into the upper 50s. There were a couple areas reporting 61 dew points. So that's pretty good for early March, along with the temperatures we're getting and that low pressure and the upper level dynamics coming in. So I'm out here just waiting in Albert Lea right now, testing out my live stream and making sure it seems to be working okay, at least while I'm sitting still. Let me see if I'm gonna turn the camera around and, oh look, take a look outside. So you can see right now in Albert Lea, it's actually clearing up. It just cleared, the clearing line just moved through in Albert Lea, Minnesota, meaning the temperatures are gonna go up and it's gonna get even better for those storms to move into this environment. There are actually a little bit, someone's saying not going to drive east and visit the Spam Museum. Oh, not today. I'm gonna sit here and wait for that low pressure to come through, and storms are expected. Actually, you know what? I can see some cumulus developing pretty nicely, some pretty puffy looking cumulus towering, not quite towering, but definitely a nice Q field just to my west out there. And that's currently the low is southwest of this area. It's expected to move northeast into this area throughout the afternoon. So we're looking at storm initiation. Well, actually storms could initiate early on the early side, but not get as interesting until later this afternoon as they move into this area. So I'm looking at the best storms around 4 or 5 o'clock in this area. It could be a little bit north of Albert Lea by the way the HRRR runs have been looking, but we'll see what happens because you never know for sure. So yeah, the cumulus, you can't really see them very well because they're in the distance and I can just barely see them with my eyes right now, but they're over that hill where the I-94 is right in front of us here. And they're looking kind of nice out there, which is always good to see. I'm just really enjoying the sun that came out finally. Finally, we're getting some heating today, some insulation, incoming solar radiation here in Albert Lea. And I'm just waiting for storms to develop and move into this area. Of course, I will reposition as I need to. As I watch radar, watch the surface obs, see where that low actually tracks. I'm gonna go ahead and drive around a little bit just to see, make sure this stream actually works okay while I'm driving, because as the storms move in, yep, you have time to run some errands. Still some time yet. It's only 2:20. There has been a mesoscale discussion issued. Actually, before I move, let's take a look at that real quick. Mesoscale discussion for Iowa and Minnesota. Here are more details right here, which is kind of what the models had been showing already. The HRRR runs have been pretty consistent with moving that low up through southeast Minnesota. And so there you can see what the surface looks like right now. The low is still down to the southwest there, somewhat near Kansas City, moving up this way, and there's a warm front in place. And a triple point right by that low. You can see the warm front, dry line, and cold front all creating that triple point. So that low is going to move up here where we've got a pretty decent environment for supercells and possibly even a couple tornadoes with these storms later this afternoon. It's 2:30, and again, I expect to see something really get going by around 4 to 5. So I'm just watching and waiting, and that's how things are looking now. I am going to drive around a little bit, see how this stream actually holds while I'm driving, and see how the picture looks. Of course, I can't really tell. I guess I could get on my other phone and check out YouTube to see if it's looking okay. See if it's looking okay. Yep. Maybe I should turn that volume down. Okay. It's because I have a good data signal. I mean, I'm in Albert Lea, Minnesota right now, so it's pretty decent data. It's when that data gets, oh good, I'm glad it looks great. Great, so I'm excited. Let's see how it looks when I'm moving, because today I might be driving pretty fast. These storms are gonna be moving pretty quickly. In the early spring, with the systems that come through, we have some really strong, fast winds, upper level winds and dynamics, so it creates faster storm motion. So that means it's harder to keep up with when I'm chasing. So we'll see how that goes. I am by the interstate, so at least I can hop on the interstate. As long as the storms are moving, you know, along that area. It looks like they're gonna come in, start developing more nicely just a little west of here, right almost by I-35. But yeah, I'll just take a drive down the road. But you can see the sky is nice and clear. We're getting some good heating while we wait for that low pressure to move this way and for some good storms to develop. It's really actually looking better than we had expected it might look today for storms in Minnesota. Because you never know, with that cloud cover, it prevents heating during the day. So we need those clouds to clear to get some decent heating most of the time. And the dew points have actually been getting pretty high as well. Almost around 60 degrees up here for early March is good. So, ironically, you're in a perfect spot to intercept in Albert Lea. I couldn't read all that before it disappeared for me. Okay, I'm driving now, so I probably won't be reading chats. That's why they're not popping up. Actually, I'm gonna drive west just a little bit down this road. Yep, sorry you're out in Florida right now. I'm actually gonna put my phone on a different mount later, but right now, just testing out this drive and to make sure that looks like it's still coming in pretty good, thanks to good data. I'm not sure exactly what the track is going to be because we never know for sure with storms until they actually develop. But models have been showing this, the best looking storm developing just west of Albert Lea and moving northeast, crossing I-35, maybe around Owatonna area, and then continuing to move northeast, moving just past, you know, just south of the Minneapolis metro area actually. But of course that's just a model, so it's hard to know exactly where things are gonna develop and track until it actually happens, because that low, it depends how it moves. If it moves a little more east than north than the models predict, then storm tracks could be a little bit different. All right, or storm development rather. Yeah, it is so somewhat of an unusual system, although we do see tornadoes in Minnesota in March. In fact, the St. Peter tornado in 1990 at the end of March was a pretty significant tornado, an F4. I believe there was even still some snow on the ground with that tornado. This is a weird road right here. I think I have to merge over. Yeah, it looks like I didn't get to go very far west on that road. Don't want to get too far off track here. So, yeah, we can definitely see tornadoes up here in March. It's just not very common. In fact, in 2017, was it March 6th? I just looked this up. March 6th or March 7th, we had 3 tornadoes. And that was the earliest we've had tornadoes in March. So this is pretty early, March 10th. And really this system has just been coming together actually better than the models were predicting previously. So it will be interesting to see how it turns out. And I'll probably be stopping this stream in just a little while because I'm still waiting for the storms. So there's not really a lot to look at just yet, besides this nice blue sky. There's a nice little weird spot to pull over for a minute. I really like to be able to see out to the west when I'm chasing or just waiting for storms, because usually systems are coming in from the west, generally from the west anyway, and this one is coming from the southwest. Don't know if you can see. Yeah, it's you've got some cumulus out there. Wait, I don't want that. So anyway, all these places just popped up for filters, and I don't want any filters. Go away. Okay. Do you think 2021 is going to be similar to 2011? You know, I've heard some people saying that. And I know, you know, certain parameters, dynamics are in place, like La Nina, that can make it a more active storm season this year. There's also a drought going on in some of the southern states, southwest. So all those things can affect our season. And I actually Andrew Pritchard, actually, he's a meteorologist and had just put together an analysis of what he thinks it will look like this spring for more than or overly active severe weather. And he was saying because of all the, you know, the La Nina and the drought and different things going on, that it looked like, and also the way the jets are setting up, is that we might see more active weather, more in the central eastern states. So more into Missouri, Illinois, into the southeast states, down into Dixie Alley a little. So that area actually looks a little more active, kind of east of I-35. And not necessarily more active in the southern plains like Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas. But we'll see what happens. I mean, not that they won't get storms as well, but that was his prediction, is that we'll have a more or higher than normal active storm season, more in the eastern states. Well, not like the East Coast, but, you know, the central eastern. So we'll see what happens, because climatology is great for predicting how the seasons are going to be, but it doesn't always turn out exactly like patterns might have shown. Because I know actually one time we were expected to get a really cold winter based on, I believe it was El Nino, and instead we got the second warmest winter on record. So you just never know exactly how it's going to turn out for sure. I just like to wait and see. Even this system was actually, you know, a few days out, 10 days out, it looked like Kansas would be more interesting. And then just the day before, just yesterday, as the HER runs started coming out for today, it looked like Minnesota was going to be more and more interesting, which is also why the Storm Prediction Center upgraded their risk for this area. So yeah, we'll see what happens with the coming season. And right now, as you can see, I'm looking west, and we've got nice blue skies with some cumulus developing out there, kind of low contrast, so hard to see right now because they're a little bit far away still. So I'll be stopping this stream pretty soon here. Just make sure, you know, all my camera gear is ready. I do have it mounted, and I'll be back on probably around, who knows, maybe even 3 o'clock, but 4 o'clock. Oh, it's already 2:30. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, like I said, is when I expect there to be the most action or things to start developing more. Let me just check real quick, see if there is a watch. Nope, no watch has been issued yet. There's just that mesoscale discussion in place. So as soon as, I should probably even take a look at radar again. There were some little cells starting to pop up in Iowa. Is that low? Oh yeah, look at that. There is a little cells. There are little cells, which is kind of what I'm seeing. Oh, nice reflection. In southern Minnesota. So I'm in Albert Lee, at that intersection of interstates right there, and there is a cell with a little storm track on it. by Lakefield, by Fairmont, Minnesota. So we are seeing little cells pop up on radar, but those storms right now, they're moving north. They're just moving into the cold air and dissipate. We expect to see more development within another hour or so. Just going to keep an eye on things, and I'll be back on later this afternoon, so stay tuned. And I will stream any interesting storms that I get to chase today. It looks like there will be some. All right.